more, not necessarily in sets. On the other side, I got really good in the open floors. Primo Spears trying to figure out, again, only a sophomore, also trying to figure out how to run a team, when to score. Such a big job for these guys.
Georgetown, losers of 27 in a row within the league. It's a dubious distinction, but they have the ability, they have the talent to really right their path in the late stages of January going into March. Remember, this is a team that is only a couple of years removed from winning a Big East tournament title. How will Georgetown defend Cam Whitmore? That is something to watch as this game develops. Shot clock is down to 6 already. Caleb Daniels, the two-lane transfer, finds Whitmore on the wing.
It's a big shot for many reasons, but more importantly, you have a Cook running at you, one of the best shot blockers in the country. You get that elevation, you get up over the top, and to get Cam Whitmore started, so important for Villanova.
And there's the answer. As we mentioned a moment ago, Brandon Murray missed the game with Seton Hall because of a shoulder problem. They're really happy to have him back.
Yeah, he's bouncy, a little bit shorter than Whitmore, but knows how to finish.
Slater. Working on a Cook goes to the left hand.
And that's how you address the shot blocker situation. You go right at a guy who's long, you force him to move his feet. I just wouldn't play around with it too much around a Cook. He knows how to, he's got the expertise to throw some of those into the fifth row.
And I think he's one of the reasons that they have a bright future, in my opinion, even though they're looking for that first conference win. A Cook is a heck of a talent.
What a great skip pass to the corner. Cam Whitmore does a nice job of just showing up. You know, that's what you want to teach young guys. Be available. Another great job here. Little post up. Cam Whitmore will understand how to play that a little bit better. Maybe using a little bit of your arm and not so much body. It's a tough area to guard when you're just going body to body. The offensive player always has the advantage.
Yeah, I had to work on that working with you.
Well, cheating on me with Jim Jackson in L.A., I get it. I got you in Philly. I understand L.A., Philly. I know you like that West Coast proofy stuff.
Riley could not get that one to go. Almost 2 minutes gone by here at Villanova. Dixon's played really well of late. How about that double-under? And a foul as he got Qudus Wahab airborne.
Can we make an all-unsung team around not just this conference but country? This guy would be the first on the list. He's just so undervalued in terms of maybe not his numbers or his percentages, but in terms of knowing who's on which scouting report, the face of teams. That kid right there has put his time in, Eric Dixon. He's waited, and now he's the leader of this team.
Well, it looks like we got a lane violation. Slater got caught leaning that time, so wave off the third point of what could have been an old-fashioned three-point play. Primo Spears. Out of Hartford, Connecticut. Coming over from Duquesne. Inside. Nice work. And a beautiful flush. How about that? Speaking of bouncy, Jordan Riley running to the rim to make it 7-4.
Well, Riley's happy, but for Wahab, you can't miss zero-footers.
Yeah.
You just can't. You're too big. You got to try to dunk those, hit some contact. But they're going to rely on him to finish down low.
Yeah, his confidence has been shaken a bit lately, hasn't it?
Yeah, sometimes you leave and you try to come back. It's just not the same as when you left.
In traffic against Slater with a pump fake. Oh, beauty.
Yeah.
That's one from Jay Wright. Familiarized the jump, stop, and also the pump fake. 4 possessions, 4 scores for Villanova.
Slater's long. He's not a small guy. He's got long arms, so he can challenge a Cook with some success, as we've seen already on a couple of buckets. Mismatch inside.
Archie comes down with the rebound. Smallest Wildcat on the floor. Here's Daniels. A little early. And that one's taken down by the Hoyas. Primo looking to push. Riley again. An in-between game. Yeah. Takes me back to some of the great players that always had outstanding in-between games that were guards. Lancaster Gordon, deep on cut. It's a lost art in the college game today.
Yeah, it's coming back, Timmy, but it's only because of the floaters, not necessarily pull-up jumpers. Right. So you're right.
Teardrops.
Yeah, the little Mark Jackson floaters.
Archie Diacono can't get that one to go. The Cook clears it. Look at Dixon fronting a Cook. Kudus Wahab.
That little mid-range game you talked about, beating Villanova at their own game, if you will, the shot fake, get a guy to jump, you put it down once or twice and get to a sweet spot. I don't mind those 15-footers. I know we talk about the numbers, the analytics, but those twos I think are really good twos if you can try to get a foot in the paint, even if it's 14 feet.
Armstrong, this is a kid I know you love. Probably the least known outstanding player on this Villanova team.
Oh, when they started to make a little shift, Cam Whitmore came back. They won, 4 or 5 straight. He was in that mix as well, Armstrong. So I don't think you can ignore his progression to where they are to this point as well.
The last time they really played well, it was against St. John's here before Christmas, when he played an outstanding game in front of Raft and me. Spears giving it up on the wing. Riley right up against the clock.
Such a mature play for Primo Spears, a kid who's trying to figure out when to score, and he has the ability to do that every time down, but to draw the defense and to find the hot hand, so special. You need that in the point guard.
And you look at that 0-7 conference record, and you think Georgetown's so much better than their record. These guys are just getting used to playing together. Dixon. He tried to use the rim as a helper against Kudus Wahab and couldn't get it to go.
Now, the starts aren't the issue, Tim. Early on, Patrick Ewing's playing a lot of guys, a lot of starters, a lot of minutes, and then you just run out of gas late.
That time a mistake made in traffic. Spears just got in too tight. Slater all the way to the right.
Such a nice job of using the body, trying to draw that shot blocker. Closing the space. Shot blockers love space. If they have any room where they can kind of get into you, they're going to block that. That's 3 buckets now for Slater going right at a Cook.
Murray with the dump down to Wahab on a mismatch with Archie Diacono and a quick triple team. Murray back to him, and he runs into a Villanova roadblock. And a foul is spotted underneath. Really good start. And the under 16 timeout comes at 13:29. As College Hoops continues on Fox, we celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The original typewritten I Have a Dream speech with Martin Luther King Jr.'s handwritten notes is in the possession of former college basketball coach George Raveling, who was working security on that day in 1963. And he donated it here to Villanova back in 2015. There you see it. And that's the original copy. I had the honor, Donnie, of getting to work with Coach Raveling in the NCAAs in 1997 as a 41-year-old, and I remember having that conversation with him in the car going over to practice, and he said, yeah, I never knew. And then as time went on, he said, I gotta get back in touch with Villanova. It's Philadelphia we're talking about. And George was one of the great characters, one of the most well-read men I've ever had the honor of coming in contact with. What a thing for him to do for not just the history of MLK, but also for his school.
Played, and for people who don't know, Coach Raveling played here from 57 to 60, so that's kind of a little bit more significance for them today.
His impact and influence as a coach and really a contributor to college basketball's rich history is deep, very, very deep.
Special man.
Great to remember him, too, on Martin Luther King Day, and what he's done to help keep that history alive. Whitmore at the free throw line. It is 1 and a bonus. 62-59. We're talking about transition for so many of these teams. as Whitmore comes up empty at the line. Think about this, what St. John's did to Connecticut yesterday, okay, and what Georgetown could be doing today if they can pull this off.
And 11 top 25 teams lost over on the weekend, so
absolutely,
that's where we are this time of year in college basketball. You got to be dialed in and expect everything to come your way, especially if you are in the top 25. You have a larger target on you.
In truth, St. John's was a team we all thought would get there, and Mike Anderson's team caught UConn at the right time.
I mean, it was only an upset in terms of the number in front of their names.
Exactly. Yep. And I'm sure Dan Hurley is going to feed off that this week when we see him coming up on Wednesday, and then over the weekend when Butler comes into.
He better. You don't want to you lose 4 or 5.
A cook. Off the heel. Adelide Daniels looking to push it real good. Working on Primo. In the painted area, and he gets fouled.
How about that? Just subtle. And this is such a good play offensively. Caleb Daniels, you got to see this subtlety of this is what scores give you. Now watch when he elevates. Just watch how the right arm just kind of extends a little bit more into the outstretched hands of Spears. It's just a small thing, but it gets him to the foul line. He gets that underneath that arm.
He's perfect today from the floor. He's 6 out of 6. Dixon sits down, and Patterson checks back in. Yeah, because he was looking to see about maybe turning that into a numbers game, and right away he said, nope, I'll pull it back out and run on ISO for me.
Size advantage for Villanova now with Wahab. What are you going to do if you're Georgetown?
Murray, up and under, and he draws the foul. It's a block against Patterson. Second foul on Trey Patterson.
Yeah, that right toe just on the line.
Yeah, leaned in, too. Brandon Murray. He got actually hurt in that Villanova game played a few weeks ago and missed the last 2 games. He's certainly making a difference just with his presence on the floor, but he needs to make these free throws. Only 5 points on the game, but he is the focal point of every team's defensive scouting report when he's available to play.
I mean, the leaders, the good ones, even when they're struggling, they find a way to affect the game, and he's got a great opportunity here with about 6:30 left to maybe draw some attention, but find teammates.
We know about how the Hoyas have run out of gas in the second half. They are trying to defy their statistical data in this game this afternoon. Armstrong, beautiful jump stop. Beautiful jump stop and drop it. He's got 12.
Just plays under such nice control. Plays like a veteran. Reminds me of a Phil Booth that played here.
Great call. Great call. Murray rejected. Tries to stay with it. And a reach-in foul is spotted.
You remember Phil Booth, very young. Some good tutors ahead of him before he got some time. That's probably the only real difference about their experience. Yeah. And Mark Armstrong doing a great job. This is the first block of the game for Nova.
And by the way, speaking of Phil Booth, he missed an entire year.
Yeah,
you might recall. He had to, and grew into his body and really made a difference in one of those Final Four runs.
You know, some things that we lose in college basketball today because of the portal is development.
Yeah.
You know, trying to build a certain landscape and a certain culture. And, you know, Phil Booth, he's a great example of that.
Complimentary player that became more than a compliment.
Yeah.
Over the time he spent here. Armstrong, little stutter step. Dixon lost it. Looks like Wahab may have touched it last. Archie Diacono will check in. Whitmore sits down.
Yeah.
The first offensive rebound for Villanova, by the way. First offensive rebound they've claimed today.
It's a close one.
Dixon. And that's going to be 4 on Wahab. So he becomes the 4th of 4 players that had 3 to get to 4 fouls with 5:41 remaining. And right away, El Zawiro gets up and gets to the scores table. There you see it. Riley with 3, Mozone, El Zawiro, who's going to check in for him. And he'll come in with 3 fouls as well.
I like that matchup with El Zawiro better, though, than Wahab. The refs will allow you to bang down there body to body. And Wahab wants to put his hands down first because he's given up some weight to Dixon.
By the way, we should mention Riley, who came out of the gates in the game and in this half, scorching hot. After he got his 3rd foul, he had to sit, and now he's been out of the flow, but he's in the game again. Number 12 in blue, Archie Diacono is checking in. Let's see if Primo Spears looks for him in this sequence. There he is. Now an unkind, but it was a good look.
Yeah, really nice look, really good play. You have to give the attention to Primo Spears when he has the ball in his hand.
Daniels. Oh, they got to cook the cook. He knows when you talk about the subtleties of offensive play. Daniels has it.
Wow. I want to see if he gets the ball first or arm first. Yeah, he got the arm.
He did.
That was a good call. I know Patrick's at a different angle, Patrick Ewing, and he's trying to ask, but that was a nice look. Good position by the official.
Yeah, living on the line. 14 of 15. They get 14 of 16 now, but that's what great offensive players do. If they don't get the bucket, they'll get a trip to the free throw line. %83 on the year. And this can't be a jinx because he already missed the first.
Yeah. You already jinxed it.
Yeah. Just trying to take care of our production team. This is now a 10-1 run. 66-63 Villanova. Here's Riley. And that's an offensive foul. That's number 4 on him. He really forced the issue that time.
Turnovers coming in many ways. We know that. Live ball, unforced. This is just another one of really nice defense. Riley forcing the issue. He really hasn't done that all game long. And that's Villanova defense. Comes late. Yeah. They know how to kind of get you in a little pocket, box you in, and make you turn the ball over.
In his defense, he was feeling it earlier. Yeah. It probably felt like he needed to push the envelope there, and it did not work out. Whitmore driving baseline on Murray. Everything but the finish.
This is where Georgetown has to be aggressive but under control.
Spears. And that was a wonderful thought by Donnie Marshall prior to Primo getting up in the air and throwing it.
Yeah, you got to be under control here. Possessions are so valuable, and I know what Primo's thinking. There's always someone in that corner ready to catch and shoot. And Murray just stopped at the wing. You got to keep running, get to the corner. Listen, Murray's had a tough day because he's guarding, just a beast in Whitmore.
And if not him, Slater.
Yeah, so I understand that, but this game is not always easy.
Patterson. And some outstanding work by Armstrong that time. Mark Armstrong, 14 on the day. Murray in traffic, and he's fouled.
He can wheel and deal, can't he?
He sure can.
I'd love to see him just off the ball, just kind of be more present. And what I mean by that is not stop when you see another guy getting into a move. try to be there as an outlet maybe. That last play was indicative of what I'm talking about. Get to the corner, be where your point guard can see you, because we know he can handle the ball and get to the rim.
Just 2 out of 5 at the line, Murray, on the day. Needs these freebies to fall for Georgetown to hang in there. We've already seen early signs that in the late stages, Georgetown is trying to do it individually.
Agree. That's not just physical.
Yeah.
Exhaustion. That's mental as well. You get tired, not just physically, but thinking your way through the end of games. It happens.
4 minutes left, and it's a 4-point lead for the Wildcats. Armstrong.
Still a mismatch down there with Dixon.
Mozone late to help. Ball's on the deck. And it's out of bounds off Slater. That was great work by Mozone. And Villanova looking to hang tough against a Georgetown team that just wants a conference win to get off the schneid. It's a 3-point game with 3 and change remaining.
Buying a home? Rocket Mortgage will cover 1% of your rate for the first year at no cost to you, saving you hundreds, even thousands with Inflation Buster. That's more road trips, more spa days, more of what you love. Plus, if rates drop within 3 years of your home purchase, you get exclusive savings when you refinance with Rate Drop Advantage. That's more cash in your pocket. Save when you buy today and refinance tomorrow. Don't miss these big savings. Visit inflationbuster.com.
Go anywhere, do anything in the wildly capable, electrified Jeep Grand Cherokee and Jeep Wrangler 4xe.
During the Jeep Start Something New sales event, well-qualified lessees can lease the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $399 a month. Visit Jeep.com for new inventory available near you.
Kids are so expensive, Dad. Now Katie needs braces.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You can save hundreds.
I don't know, Dad.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You could save hundreds.
It's a great idea, TV Dad.
But I said the exact same thing.
Someday when you're a father, you'll understand.
I'm his father.
It's not a competition.
Listen to your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $700 on average.
Wouldn't it be great if all Valentine's Day gifts were filled with peanut butter? Well, maybe not all of them. Maybe it's just Reese's that are better.
Sure, there's food at home. But is there a McDouble with extra pickles, a side of fries, and a high C at home? Don't be ridiculous.
We got more college hoops coming up next. The most dominant player in the game, likely player of the year, Zach Edey, averaging 22 and 13, leading Purdue on the road at Michigan State. So we got big Big Ten action coming up when it's over in Philly. Timmy and Donnie.
All right, Sarge, thank you. I'll be interested, Donnie, in that matchup, how Sissoko plays against Edey. You know, with his quickness, Zach is really, really good, but those are quick feet he's going to be up against with Michigan State. And A.J. Hoggard has really been the leader of Michigan State's 7-game win streak prior to the loss to the Illini.
Well, you talk about scoring and the guys that Purdue has, the freshmen, they can shoot it from outside, so Edey's become a better passer as well.
Yeah. This may be Matt Painter's year to finally get to a Final Four under Matt Painter. And here in the second half, Villanova's run has really been dominating to regather the lead here.
Yeah, we had talked about a couple of timeouts ago about hunkering down defensively, and they've done that and then come down and turn those stops, not necessarily into fast break points, but those extra opportunities scoring in the open space. Done a nice job, Villanova, of getting out of each other's way, spacing that floor, causing a lot of mismatch problems. Georgetown will switch, but they're switching big to small and vice versa, and Villanova has recognized that in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
And during this 4.5-minute span, Georgetown has gone without a field goal. So the defense for Villanova has been suffocating as well. And that's going to be a block. Dixon not quite there in time, and the quickness of Murray is going to help him draw that foul.
We talked about it, under control. You know, those are situations you don't know how that call is going to go.
No, you don't.
You know, Villanova's at home. They have the momentum. We've seen a call earlier. One ref signaled offense, the other one signaled block. So you just don't know.
That's the 19th foul, so it'll be the next one when they actually get to the two-shot foul.
A couple questions about offense late for Georgetown. How are you going to get it? Where are you going to get it? And who's it going to be?
Right.
Those are huge questions for them late game, because we've seen them this season if you watch them at all, and those have been some of the issues. Not just with the exhaustion, but being tired. Where do all those points come from? How do you get it?
Murray has the last 5 points for Georgetown. Daniels on a blow by Daniels. Knocks it away. A big-time rejection. Spears on the other end. Wiley's been the hottest of that group today. But will he get a look?
Value your possession.
Spears gets the high pick. Huge shot. 69-68 Georgetown. 15 points. He's got 7 assists, but also 6 turnovers. Feast or famine, and El Zorrillo will get that foul. Don't let Dixon come back and slam it on you. That is his 4th, though. He becomes the 2nd Hoya with 4.
Zorrillo does a nice job here of not allowing Daniels to get contact with the body, keeping that space. Gets it high, and then Spears. Look, again, it's a terrific shot. I'm a stickler. Take a 3. You know, get an extra point. You're right there. A big shot.
Well, he's certainly unafraid. We know that, right? And at some point, you just think, and Patrick's probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Odds are with us. At some point, we've got to be able to finish one of these games in the second half.
But like I tell you, Timmy, you can't let your enthusiasm outweigh your discretion.
That's right.
I tell you that every time we...
Absolutely. Moderation.
That's it.
It's all about moderation.
You got to be smart with it. You got to, value it. Know what you're doing.
Spears again, crossover. He's feeling it. He is feeling it. You know, this is a little Dante Harris-esque at the Garden in 2020. You feel that a little bit?
A little bit.
Remember how Dante would take games over?
And this game, they have to make it into being as big as that game because you're looking for your first conference win in a long time.
I mean, that looks like Dante Harris at MSG in 2020 to me.
Yeah, I love the energy. I love that he gets in a little groove, and Patrick Ewing has allowed him.
Speaking of, Max Leinwald doesn't miss a thing, right?
Yeah.
It was Dante Harris and company spread the floor and took over. And this was a Georgetown team that everyone had dead to rights. No way would they go in there. And pretty soon it was Patrick Ewing telling everyone in the security area, this is my house. And he came away with the Big East Tournament Championship. Of course, no one expected this would follow, but it did. And they're looking to get this streak out of the way today.
Life has changed when you look at that clip and see no fans in the building. It's changed in so many ways for Georgetown.
It has. 10 points for Spears, by the way. 5 of 7 from the floor in this half. So as you mentioned just a moment ago, who would it be from a scoring standpoint? For the moment anyway, it's the point guard. Still 2 minutes and 17 seconds left to go. What a great way to start our holiday basketball, right?
It really is. And if you're Georgetown, the thing that has to be the message coming out of this timeout is defend with your feet, meaning move your feet, give your body up. Villanova plus 14 from the foul line today. So there's just a lot of fouls. You cannot just let that be the decider if you win or lose if you're Georgetown today.
I'm curious. They play 8 guys, Villanova. Would you say this is their best 5 on the floor? Right now, we're talking Armstrong, Slater, Whitmore, Dixon, and Dan.
I mean, to close games without question. Without question.
Slater at his finest. We're tied at 71. They're on their feet at the fin.
Just looks a little smoother when a lefty does it.
Yeah,
really does.
I never called the right-hander crafty.
That's it. And that's dribbling.
Yeah. And Dixon with the second block of the afternoon. And a timeout. Villanova.
Oh, Timmy B, I got a name for you. You tell me if I'm right or not. Oh, Calvert Chaney from the corner. The sweet, silky left hand.
Oh, man.
Gets you to jump.
Yeah.
Woo! Boy, oh, boy. What a great move late game. And then a lot of dribbling. You'd love to see a ball screen here somewhere.
And you know what? Murray was on the wing just ready for a pass.
Someone cutting. Look, a lot of guys standing still, no one moving in there. Would have loved to see Ezeworo kind of seal, maybe post up. You had Slater behind you. But that's what I'm talking about when I say it earlier. A lot of guys stand when the ball is being...
They start watching.
They just stand and kind of wait for it instead of cutting without it.
You know, in his earliest days as a player at LSU, that happened some with Chris Jackson.
Yeah.
Later, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. And that was when he had Stanley Roberts and Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
You know, back, I think that was the 92 season.
Mm-hmm.
And think about that, Donnie. When you're a point guard that can score, you always have those gremlins, right?
Yeah.
Working, do I take it myself or do I give it up?
It's a tough position, especially for young guards. You remember, Spears is just a sophomore.
And by the way, Mahmoud still pretty good on 3-on-3 moves.
He is. A lot of grays and a lot of mileage, a lot of grays.
Yeah. And you see the leading scorers for Villanova. A lot of that coming at the free throw line.
No silly fouls here if you're Georgetown. Providence to use, Villanova to use all of this clock.
Dixon on Ezeworo. And he got the foul on the hook. And that's it for Ezeworo. That's 5.
Just have to... It's so important. They sell it so well, and they're just so fundamentally sound with the pump fakes, either perimeter. The last couple of buckets have been that for Nova. Shot fake, get it to the rim. The next one, you get down low, shot fake, and one.
Look, that will always be the staple of Villanova basketball. Kyle Neptune has to change some of the recent history with a player like Whitmore, there's no doubt. But I'm sure somewhere Jay Wright, either in an airport terminal or somewhere with Raftery, is smiling after seeing that particular play, because that's old school Villanova basketball.
I mean, Cam Whitmore can benefit from that as well, just becoming more fundamentally sound. He already has the body and the mindset and the talk to go with his game. Now he can just add a couple, even for him. Doesn't have to be 2-foot jump stop and pivot. But a nice head fake, boy, goes a long way.
Something to think about as we come down towards the end here. Just over a minute remaining. All those guys with 4 fouls and 3. Ezeworo already sits down with 5. Maybe thinking about playing for the win as opposed to a tie anyway.
Right now,
Georgetown.
Right now they're going to talk about it, but you don't need a three-pointer if you're Georgetown. You get a good basket, first available, best available when you come out of this timeout.
This is the best Georgetown has played since that game at Connecticut, without a doubt.
Start to finish, you're absolutely right. They've been engaged, they've stayed involved. And they've been aggressive. They've sent Villanova to the line 29 times. Look, you get 5. Might as well use them all. You know, if you are trying to set the tone and trying to, they're not silly fouls, but the reason I mentioned you don't need a 3 is sometimes when teams haven't been in a tight game like this during the season, you think, okay, let's get a 3, tie it back up and see what happens. If there's a shot there, you take it. Otherwise, get the highest percentage shot.
Think about this Georgetown team, which can turn it over 20 times a lot. They've only turned it over as a team 12 times today. But still, when they look back on this game, what might be the difference? Turnovers at inopportune times. They absolutely have got to protect the ball down the stretch here.
Tim, you sent Villanova to the line 15 more times.
Yeah.
That's a huge number.
Absolutely.
To be in this position, they're fortunate.
They really are. Here we go. And a bump and a foul by Slater.
2 shots.
You know, not a bad foul when you consider that Georgetown has struggled some at the line. That was a switch that he decided to take advantage of.
It may have helped Georgetown, though. You know, you now have a chance to make a couple instead of grinding for a 2-pointer or having to make a decision to make a 3-pointer. If you can make them both, definitely advantage Georgetown there.
That was the 4th on Slater, by the way. R.G. Diacono checks in for Whitmore.
And I don't think that was by design. Some boo birds while they're taking Cam Whitmore out. Fans think they can coach and. little offense, defense, probably happening here.
That was, absolutely. Plus, fouls to give, all those things come into.
It's always great when fans just stay fans, you know. Just stay in your lane, cheer, be happy for your team.
20 to shoot, just over 40 on the shot clock. 21-second differential. An important possession. So very important. Slater, and he walked. He did. On one of those pump fakes. And that's 7 turnovers for Villanova. It could be huge. In essence, allows Georgetown an opportunity at the last shot to win.
He picked up that pivot foot. That's a terrific call.
Yeah. Clarence Armstrong on it. So the Hoyas have everything that they would want here. What do you anticipate? Last possession. Looks like they're going to get Wayne Bristol Jr. into the game. And Riley sits down, so take him out of the loop.
They're not a huge ball screen team. They fake the screen a lot up top, but this ball has to be in Primo's hands. You've got to rely on him to go get a bucket. Got the entire shot clock. Got to take care of it, though.
Primo and Murray have had the last 15 points. They've had the last 15 points in this game for Georgetown.
You don't need to go.
It's Slater. It's Whitmore.
Got a foul here. You have to foul. Wow. You got to take care of the basketball, Timmy.
Yeah.
And there's no shot clock. You don't need to be in a hurry here. Again, being in these positions or lack thereof really hurts Georgetown. You haven't been in close games. Decision making. Look at that shot clock, top of your screen. You don't need to go. The clock is on your side.
And that now makes unlucky 13 turnovers that have turned into 18 points for Villanova. And that's, why we addressed the issue a moment ago.
And I would say this ball comes in. If you're Villanova, you foul right away. You have a 3-point lead. I am always of the mindset to foul when you're up 3 with this much time on the clock. But you just, that's that situation of you're not comfortable. You think you have to hurry because you just haven't been there.
I'm so glad you said that because I don't ever want to be the one that asks, well, do you foul?
No.
Because that's, it's a matter of really
Absolutely
for every coach. But you have to determine that from the jump. You have to know what your philosophy is always. We don't know if they practice it or don't practice it.
Right.
We don't.
And coaches have gotten away with not. And we've heard them say many times, probably should have fouled in that situation, but we got away with it.
Well, whatever they do, it's got to be done quickly. 7.2 left. What do you anticipate here for Georgetown?
Same thing. You have to go fast, and I don't think you can go for it two because of the way Villanova's shooting free throws. You can't get two and foul them; they're not going to miss. You have to bet they're not going to miss. So
maybe
you need
going
a three.
Too fast helps Spears.
Yeah, exactly. I think you need a three immediately, but I don't know if you're going to have a chance to get there because I really believe just being around this Villanova team, and even if it's Jay Wright or Kyle Neptune, I really believe they foul in a situation like this.
Villanova has been going the other way. For them, coming off 3 straight Big East losses to Xavier, DePaul for the first time in 15 years, and Butler. They want this win badly too, but for Georgetown, it's ending 27 in a row. They're trying to dodge that with 7.2 left, down 3.
Trying to get Kyle Neptune back in his coach's box.
Murray off the front iron.
Wow.
Run down by Dixon.
Whew. Tell you
2.4 left.
I'm really surprised they did not foul, and it was almost a foul. That's what you try to avoid.
I really thought with Primo sending it in, he might get it back. Yeah. But that was a pretty good look for him. But it was quick.
It was. I think you have time to dribble handoff. There's a mismatch either way. You see Eric Dixon is guarding the ball out of bounds. Dribble handoff. Again, it's those situations this Georgetown team has not been in this season. They played hard. They fought. They really did.
It's not done yet.
No timeouts for Georgetown. Gonna have to throw it up ahead quick if this misses.
Very quickly. We'll get Spears out there as fast as he can. That should do it. Yep. Enjoyed spending my holiday with you, pal. Always good. Another near miss for Georgetown. But Nova closes the last 2:20 on an 8-2 run, and Kyle Neptune will feel a lot better about his club as they head to New York the end of the week. They get a St. John's team at Madison Square Garden that's feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, got some confidence, but this is a game that you can look back and say, hey, we figured out how to win a close one, especially after we'd gone 1-5 on our last 6. Win at home, you get that feeling of winning back. And it doesn't get easier from here. It only gets tougher as Big East play continues.
Oh, indeed. Well, I'll see you in a few days.
All right, let's do it again. I like it.
Oh, well, more to come. Okay. Michigan State and Purdue is on the way. Jason Benetti and Bill